MK Telco Sports welcomes you to our coverage of high school basketball, where the Fort Loramie Redskins will take on the Varsity Raiders. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, Superior Aluminum, and NK Telco. We're looking live here at the Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium, the 412th and final varsity boys basketball game in this historic gymnasium. My name's Brandon Koverman. Alongside me, Tanya Hamilton. A lot of emotions here tonight with this gym, but let's take a look first here at the matchup. Tanya, the Fort Loramie Redskins coming in at 6-15 here, trying to play spoiler to the Varsity Raiders here tonight.
You know, Brandon, Loramie-Rushi is always a fantastic matchup, and being in the final game at the Claire C, who knows what we're going to get tonight? You know, do they want to be the spoilers and make the Raiders tie for the league title and share with Bachkins? We shall see soon.
And you take a look at Rushi. We'll go through all the standings here tonight. They've already clinched a share of the Shelby County League title by beating Bachkins in a big matchup here last Friday. But a chance to win this league title outright for the first time since 2017. They split it last year with Jackson Center, but have not won it outright their last two times they've won the league. They've won the league title back in 2017 was the last time they won it outright. Trying to punctuate a big win here tonight.
Brandon, it'll be fantastic to see what these Raiders can do. You know, they've had some ups and downs and had some roller coaster rides this year. But, you know, I think they're firing on all cylinders right now and ready to finish this weekend off and head into tournament play.
And the Raiders earned that #1 seed in the sectional draw. They went the route of going to Troy High School, and we'll talk about bracket play later. They'll open up, I believe, next weekend against Yellow Springs.
That'll be, you know, a good matchup. It'll be a little different for the Raiders traveling to Troy versus Piqua. You know, the Garbary Gymnasium's been good to us for a lot of years, so we'll see if Troy's Gymnasium can give us some luck as well.
Well, we're going to step aside here. We're going to let you do your PA duties. The Varsity High School Pep Band do the national anthem. We'll come back with the starting lineups, keys of the game, and tip-off here next on your home for Fort Loramie Redskins and Varsity Raider basketball in K-Telco Sports.
The Hometown Opportunity Platform is exceptional.
It is focused, laser focused on the careers in our four-county region.
100% of the time we go to Hometown Opportunity. We've had great success from a handful of applications when we need them, as well as a recent one where we had 67 applicants.
Honestly, it's a competitive advantage.
The Hometown experience has been everything I could have dreamed of and more.
Sports as we get ready for the introductions of the starting lineups here. First, for the visiting Fort Loramie Redskins, number 11, a 6'2 senior, Alex Berger. Number 21, a 6'2 junior, honorable mention, all Shelby County Athletic League, Max Maurer. Number 33, a 6'3 junior, Spencer Knopf. Number 34, a 6'1 junior, Carter Gasson. And rounding out the lineup, number 43, Aiden Burning. The head coach of the Fort Loramie Redskins in his first season is Mitch Westerheide. Now the starting lineup on senior night here for the show. All three seniors in the regular rotation, so no different starting lineup here. A 6'1 junior, number 22, Vince Borchard. Junior number 24, Braylon Cardonier.
The seniors playing in their last game in Varsity High School. A 6'5 senior.
A 6'5 senior, number 11, Felix Francis.
A 6'2 senior, number 12.
A 6'2 senior, Shelby County Athletic League Player of the Year, Hayden Quinter. 6'2 senior, first team all Shelby County selection, Braden Money. The Raiders head coach in his this season's second stint, Spencer Cardonier, who's going for win 100 here tonight. Spencer Cardonier, and he's assisted by Brad Francis. Cody Anthony and Devin Lindbergh. So, we introduce the starting lineups here tonight. Let's take a look at our keys to the game brought to you by Keel Pizza in Newport, Ohio. First, taking a look for Fort Loramie.
Thanks, Brandon. The keys to the game for the Redskins are to slow down the Raiders. They need to play a slow tempo and get into a half-court offense. They need to control the boards, and they need to contain these Raiders from getting out on the run.
And taking a look at keys for Rushi.
The keys for the Raiders are no different than they've been all year long. Let's run, run, run. They need to control the boards, and they need to get some outside shooting going. They need to be effective when we start seeing teams playing a zone on them.
Thanks to Keel Pizza off State Route 66 in Newport, Ohio for sponsoring our keys to the game. If it's not Chunky Bob's Pizza, it's not pizza. And Vince Borchers with a player control foul to start the game here tonight.
But you know what, Brandon? Why would we start a game without a player control foul? That's pretty typical.
We got a blown tire here on the floor, but
everybody tie your shoes.
Officials here tonight, Kyle Moss, Matt Cook, and Ben Kramer here tonight, the guys in stripes. All right, Rushi going to apply their full court pressure. Aiden Burning with the basketball. Here comes the run and jump by the Raiders. Army works the basketball up, Spencer Knopf on the right side. Knopf with it, kicks it out to Aiden Burning, up to Maxwell Maurer. Maurer, honorable mention, all Shelby County Athletic League. The things that just came out yesterday. There's a steal by Vince Borchers. Up ahead to Hayden Quinner. The lay-in by second-team All-County selection Felix Francis. And the Redskins racing up ahead quickly. Maurer's shot no good. It's going to tip around on the floor. There's going to be a tie-up. It's going to stay with the Redskins. The All-County teams being nominated yesterday. 4 of the 5 Raider starters on the first or second team, with Hayden Quinner winning Shelby County Athletic League Player of the Year. First player since Gavin Hoying in 2015 to have that honor. And Braden Monin joining him on first team, while Braylon Cardonier and Felix Francis got second team honors. Maurer with the basketball, goes over to Alex Berger. Berger with it to the left side to Maurer. Redskins being patient here. 6:45 to go in the opening quarter. 2-0 Raiders. Shot blocked by Hayden Quinner. And back into the fans here. Maurer gets it in. And over to Carter Gasson, who drives on the inside, blocked by the other senior, Felix Francis. Crowd on tap here tonight. We're getting the final game. We honored the 1982-83 team that played the first game in this gymnasium at halftime with a JV boys game. Now it gets the ball over to Knopf. Knopf takes the short jumper. And a long possession is empty for Fort Loramie. Ball in the corner, Cardonier. Right side, Monin. Monin looks to attack downhill. Inside to Francis. And Felix Francis kisses that off the glass, and he's got 4 points. Six minutes in the first quarter. Raiders lead 4-0 on that First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Burning with the basketball. Back up over to Maurer. Maurer, the junior, goes to the left side. Pressure there relentlessly. Goes up to Burning. I'm telling you, we're going to probably see Loramie try to run these long, drawn-out possessions here. Raiders trying to create live ball turnovers.
You know, that's one thing that they're going to have to do is try to, you're exactly right, you know, keep the ball out of the Raiders' hands as long as possible. You know, they had a fast break and took it, didn't make it, kicked it back out, get their offense going.
Jackson Grogin going to come into the lineup for Rushi. Benjamin York as well. Good to see Zeb Borchers back on the bench for Russia as he was out with a concussion last week against Botkins. He's to play that 8th man in the rotation spot for Coach Spencer Cordonier's team. I believe he's going for his 100th career win tonight as coach.
I did hear that. Him and Gino both on, Gino's next win will put him ahead of Coach K. Is Coach Cordonier in that same company?
We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll bring home some hardware in March.
That's the one he cares about. The league title and see what happens in tournament run.
Francis backing down on the inside. Gets it up to Grosjean. Back over to Quinter. Left side, Braylon Cordonier. He fires a 3. It's off the mark. Quinter with the long rebound. Quinter trying to bully his way in the lane, and this shot's no good. And off goes to the floor. He's going to call a push. And that's going to be a foul on Hayden Quinter, his first. Off, back up over to Maurer. Maurer racing down the floor, kicks it out. Quick trigger 3 from the corner is off the mark. And Russia running up ahead quickly. Here comes Grosjean. Grosjean to Cordonier. Back over to Braylon Cordonier. Over to Grosjean. Deep 3 in. Jackson Grosjean buries a deep 3 right in front of his dad right there in the front row.
Yes.
And Raiders lead 7-0 on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Here comes the run and jump by the Raiders. Goes over to Carter Gasson and he walked.
Fortunately there, did you see the mismatch that happens when you start trapping? Jackson Grosjean then was matched up with Spencer Knopf, and fortunately for the Raiders, they didn't get too far into the offense to take damage on that mismatch.
Braden Mon and Vince Borchers sub back in for Russia. Again, senior night here as well, with all the festivities of the Claire C. Neveau Gymnasium. But 2 of these seniors, Braden Mon and Hayden Quinn, have been playing for 4 years. Felix Francis joined the varsity roster in full-time mode last year. Monin on the inside. Monin shot up and in. And Braden Monin, one of the most successful athletes in this school's history as well.
Absolutely. He's been to state in all 3 sports and multiple years in cross country.
Yeah, foul there in backcourt. One against Benjamin York.
One thing the Raiders are doing very well right now is they're making good decisions on passing the ball or to shoot the ball. They're not forcing anything. You saw Felix Francis underneath the basket. Didn't have anything, he kicked it back out. Or, Vince Borchers doesn't have anything. He's kicking a Jackson Grosjean and hits a 3. So they're making really good decisions on when to pass and shoot right now.
Gasson will inbound the basketball. Gonna get it to, gets it into Knopf. Shot by Gasson off the mark, and there's a foul going to go against Berger, trying to get on there over Jackson Grosjean. So the first game in the history of this gymnasium was played on December 10th, 1982. That game was also against Fort Loramie, like you did the PA during the introduction of the 1982-83 team. Head coach of that team was George Hamlin for Fort Loramie, won a state championship back in 1977. Head coach of Russia was Roger Cheney. And the assistant coach was a guy some Russia fans may know by the name of Paul Bremichin, who won 438 games as coach of the Raiders. And Benjamin York puts that shot in. We got a full timeout. All timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip. 3:05 to go in the first. Russia leads Loramie 11-0 here on NK Toka Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Back here live on NK Toka Sports, 11-0. Russia ahead of Fort Loramie on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. And Raiders, Tanya, taking control here early and reapplying that pressure.
Not surprised of what we're seeing right now as far as the pressure. As soon as the ball goes in and somebody is, maybe goes off the screen and gets loose, all of a sudden you see that defender right up on him. So, the Raiders play a great, tight defense, and it's tough to score against them.
Steal up ahead by the all-time steals leader, Hayden Quinter, who, like I said earlier, Shelby County League Player of the Year. Kind of interesting that vote came before all the league games were, played out. But first Raider since Gavin Hoying 9 years ago to win that honor. It's been a while for the Raiders. But Hayden very deserving of that honor.
Absolutely. Hayden was, we've talked about it, and I've talked about it with other people. When you have a team that has 4 kids that are all scoring 10 points, one game it's one game it's another, what do? How Coach Cardonier decided how he's going to approach that, I don't know. I have no inside information on that. However, Hayden was most deserving, and Braden was they were all deserving of where they got, and could possibly have been higher on some. But, they may have had a bad game against, let's say, Anna, because we lost that game. But they're all individual honors, and all these kids do appreciate the coaches looking at their contribution. But really, these kids are looking forward to March. That's what they want.
Shot no good by Quinter. Maxwell Maurer in the lane gets that to fall. And Maurer gets Loramie now sparking a little 4-0 run.
The first matchup between Russia and Loramie over at Fort Loramie, Maurer was in foul trouble almost the entire game. And I think he probably didn't play half the game, to be quite honest with you. So the Redskins need to keep him on the floor to get some offense from him.
Called an illegal screen right there, and Coach Westerheide not happy about that.
That's been a hot one this year, too. That's Berger's second, I believe, maybe.
Yeah.
That's been a hot one this year. You've seen clear-outs in the lane that the officials have called. That must have been on their docket this fall when they had meetings, because we have seen it more called this year than other years.
Yeah, it's one of those points of emphasis that they talk about in the rules meeting. And Carter Eilerman in the lineup for Fort Loramie. Loramie triple teaming. Nice play by Maurer. And we got a timeout, a 30-second timeout by Coach Mitch Westerheide. Again, all timeouts brought to you by our sponsors at Precision Strip. And we are thankful for those sponsors here all year. They're Carriage Works, Chiltex LLC, Cy Schwieterman, Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, Minster Bank, Knoxville Supply, SecureCom, Bud's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Crown Equipment, Shelby County Veteran Services, the St. Henry Bank and WCSN Radio, our scoreboard sponsors, the First National Bank. Keys to the game, Keel Pizza. All timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip. Our player of the game is brought to you by MK Telco. The minute post-game stats are powered by Green Lake Health Systems. And our Russia Live View sponsor, you can see right on your screen, is the Superior Aluminum here in Russia. 13-4, we've seen a little bit of a spark now from the Redskins, and it's a 9-point lead for the Raiders. Maurer brings it up court. He goes to the right side. Look to get it to Aiden Burning off the screen. Army sitting at 6-15 right now. This is their regular season finale. There's a travel there by the Redskins. Regular season finale already for the Redskins. Russia will travel to the hangar tomorrow in Marion Local to close out regular season play here tomorrow night.
That'll be an interesting one. You get that gym we think this gym is compact.
Yeah.
That gym is even more compact. The ends are a little tighter. The ceiling's a little lower. You feel like you're in a box. Kind of like when you play at Anna. It's tough to play there, and they run 2 big guys in and out, but Kanapke will run on the outside. So, it's going to be an interesting matchup. That's for sure. And
you got the 6'9" Kanapke, a 6'8" Austin Niekamp who likes to shoot from the perimeter.
Yep.
So definitely a look. And Marion, as there's a travel there by Fort Loramie. The interesting thing is, people keep saying, well, what's happening with Marion? They're under 500. They're still a good team.
Absolutely.
When you play in the MAC, you play the Shelby County League schedule that, they do. Marion's not the team to tread lightly against, and Kirk Guttemiller is one of the best coaches in the area.
I wouldn't want to face him in the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. And they're looking like, if you look at that Northwest District bracket, they're going to run into Minster in the second round, which will be a very good matchup very early in tournament. Cordonier off the roll. Or to Monin to Quinner. Quinner up over to Braylon Cordonier. Back over to Jackson Grosjean. Grosjean trying to drive on the inside. Back to Braylon Cordonier. They're just being patient here. Going to get one shot here to try to end the quarter. Quinner trying to bully his way in the lane. His shot's no good. Ball rattles around.
Very fortunate to not pick up a foul.
And 13-4 our score. We've played 8 minutes of basketball here at the Clare City Gymnasium. We'll step aside. Come back with the second quarter of action here next on NK Total Sports. Back here on the senior night here in the Clare City Gymnasium. And it's a 13-4 Russia Raider lead here over the Fort Loramie Redskins time. Russia really, started out fast, 11-0, but kind of slowed down a little bit there.
Well, and Fort Loramie's creating that right now. We talked about them pushing the ball and then trying to stay in the half-court offense and slow things down.
15-4 Raiders lead there on the shot made by 1,000-point scorer Hayden Quinner. Hayden Burning with the basketball. Burning trying to drive on the inside. Looks it to Maurer. It's it out for three, and that three-pointer is good. And Fort Loramie with that made shot. They're back within 8 now. Redskins not going away here. They're down 8. It's that we don't have a number 53 in the roster. And I don't have any. Actually, that's DJ Barhorst.
For three.
And that's actually DJ Barhorst. As Quinner gets the response there. DJ played in the junior varsity contest as a ball stolen by Felix Francis. Quinner in the open court. Quinner dances in the lane, turns around, and Hayden Quinner with 7 points in a minute and a half. Hayden Quinner feeling it in the early going. Ball in the corner. Redskins going to fire another three. Shot no good. Rebound cleared by Borchers. Borchers in the open floor to Francis, and Francis lays it down. And we got a timeout by Fort Loramie. We'll take it with them. 6:11 to go in the second quarter. Russia leads 22-7. And they're home for Fort Loramie Redskins and Russia Raider basketball in K-Toka Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Back here on NK Toco Sports, it's 22-7. Russia leads here over Fort Loramie, and Coach Westerheide burning his third timeout there already.
Yes, that's not a good sign. You're going to need some breaks in the second half, and this is early in the second quarter, so the Raiders are just after them all over, taking a break off here of Trappin. Have to do some subbing to get some breaks.
Now we're trying to drive on these. Russia had really what you call from their high expectations, a lackluster performance offensively the first time against Fort Loramie. Only able to manage 43 points in that first contest, but on the defensive end, it was spectacular. They held Loramie to a mere 18 points.
Were you there?
I was not.
It was awful. I'm not gonna lie. It was a boring game. There was not a lot of offense, and when the Raiders score 43 points, that's not very much.
Hayden Quinter's second foul. Call there, push, and Quinter will head to the bench as Jackson Grosjean will come in. See immediately Coach Brad Francis, initial sub in quickly. We talked about that in one of the broadcasts before, as Coach Cordonier is such a trust with Brad Francis, as head coaching experience, and he's coached basketball as long as anyone about, as you know. I mean, he's been around the game so long. He's in charge of that subbing, which is, I want to say, kind of like an offensive play caller at times.
Absolutely.
Like,
you got to trust your coaches that are with you, and the Raiders coaching staff of, Coach Francis, and new to the staff this year is Devin Lindbergh, and Cody Anthony's been around a few years, and that's a 3 from Braden Monin. And Cody Anthony's been around and, been in coaching roles, and he was with the role at Fairlawn with Coach Francis. So they all know each other and their styles, so they complement each other really well.
Knopf with the 3, trying to get it right back. He buries it from the right lane. Spencer Knopf, the junior, with the 3, and Loramie back within 15. Monin, he wanted the weave to Grosjean. Loramie covered that up there well. Grosjean out to York. 3-ball, clinks off the front of the iron. Good box out by the Redskins as Alex Berger gets that basketball. Knopf trying to work on Cordonier, and Spencer Knopf with the bucket. 25-12 our score here. Monin, he's going to fire a 3-ball. Shot no good.
Holy Moses.
And that ball tipped to York, and he'll lay it in. Let's do a really good job of getting those tips and cleaning up the offensive glass very well. It's one thing that I think you've seen a steady improvement from them last year for the team that made the Final Four. It's been a steady improvement.
They go after it. They're after, they want to rebound. They're not going to sit back and watch. They do follow their shot really well. And, the last possession down for Loramie, Spencer Knopf made a great move to the basket and scored. So, he's showing his presence in the inside and the outside right now.
Dominic Francis, Vince Borchers back in for Russia. The 412th and final varsity game. And we might see a throwback game here eventually, but we're going to again call it the final game here in the Claire C. DeVoe Gymnasium. And
it's a final planned game. Let's go. But the new facility is going to be really exciting. I hear different numbers of how many it's going to hold. I've heard an extra 250. I've heard an extra 400. Somebody told me a double, and I'm like, no, no, that's not happening. I think between the 250 and the 400 is more realistic. And if any of our viewers have been into Covington's gym, which would be in the middle school part of their elementary part of their school, it's going to be very similar.
Yeah.
Fortunately, me and Brandon aren't going to have to haul our rear ends up the side of this wall anymore, and I'm excited about that. So that's my excitement.
Yeah, but you mentioned here, and Loramie, one of the few teams that has a winning record against the Raiders in this gym. The Raiders had a .664 win percentage in this gymnasium. Loramie leads the series in here 22-19. But Maxwell Maurer back in the lineup for Fort Loramie.
Brandon, what's your most memorable moment in here?
I would say,
as a fan and as a player.
As a fan and player, I would say 2014, there was a big win against Houston here to wrap up the league. That was a great game. There was my homecoming night my senior year. Evan Monnier hit a big shot as there's a 5-second count. Evan Monnier hit a big shot on the left block to win a game over Jackson. Remember Jordan Garrity being right under the bucket here on the north side of the gym and lobbing it up to Gavin Hoying. I'll never forget, even this year, Felix Francis's, his dunk off the rim from Braden Monin that went viral here locally. That was a great memory. But just so many to pick from, a lot of great games, and It's like I said, this is a gym where you feel on top of each other when it's a big game. That's how it was last Friday against Botkins. That was a big game, and whoever won that game clinched the share of the league title. It was packed in here.
Yes.
You don't get that too often in too many gyms anymore. But
I actually got here
great.
late and got to see the end of the game, and I had to stand. So there wasn't any room for me.
And Grogin gets a little Rushi roll there. And Grogin now up to 8 points quickly. 31-12, Rushi ahead of Fort Loramie. Get a tip at midcourt. Laramie's going to turn it over. Quinter fouled from behind. Francis Wood had a good look at the basket. What would you say your favorite memory is?
Well, my favorite memory, I think I was at the first game, to be quite honest. I would have only been about in the second or third grade, but I'm pretty sure I was here because my uncle was on the team. So we went to all the games. That's what my parents did. They took us to all the basketball games. My favorite memory, probably, some of my favorite high school memories weren't here. They were at Fort Loramie or at Sydney. But, I mean, I've coached here. I've played here. I've been a mom here. I've been a broadcaster here. And I'd have to say probably the best moment would be in 1986 when Brad Heaton was the first dunk we ever saw in this gym take one and just put it away. Felix and Dom and some of these boys this year have had some really exciting ones. And Gavin Hoying had some fantastic ones. But that's the memory that sticks out in my brain first when I think of something. So that's my memory. But I've had some great times here coaching with my dad, my brother. Never had the opportunity to coach with my sister. We've had some great teams, and there's a lot of wins on these banners, and it was just a lot more fun in this gym. And I'm going to have one kid play in the new gym, so and a lot of nephews and nieces, so it'll be fun.
And one of the things too, and we talk about this, and I think guys like Craig Fissinger who have done a lot of games in this gym too.
Yes.
Jack Kramer, Chuck McGee have done a ton of games. But I do this often in other schools too. But this is where I got my start doing CYO basketball games with Fish.
Awesome.
Here.
Awesome.
So definitely it's kind of the beginning point, and I hope to do this until I'm retired. Like Dave Helmstetter, who I do games with here. He's in his 70s, still doing games. 30 years later after the start of NK Tolko, but. That's
times have changed. I have the cassette tapes at home that my mom kept of games that now, which is Hits 105.5 WMVR, and you had I'm trying to think of who broadcast the games. I can't remember their names right off the top. Dave Ross, and I think Chuck was involved there too. But we have those cassette tape recordings at home. And so this is fantastic that people get to sit at home and watch a basketball game. We're just fortunate to be able to do that for them, and they can watch great games and great rivalries from anywhere.
Yeah, and there's a 10-second count. A couple of these counts have come up on Loramie all of a sudden, and because I think Coach Wester had burned through all those timeouts pretty quick.
Yeah, normally you'll see to try to avoid a turnover, a coach will call a timeout, and fortunately, he hasn't been able to do that tonight, where he's had to use it to maybe slow down a run that the Raiders are having.
33-12, the Raiders lead on that First National Bank first scoreboard. Nice ball movement by the Raiders. They're working around the arc. Braylon Cordonier trying to go in the lane. Kicks out to Vince Borchers, back inside to Braylon Cordonier. And bounce it off their foot. Kick it out, Grogin. He'll shot fake, he'll fire, and he nails his third triple of the night. Jackson Grogin for three, spoiling senior night, but he's in double figures.
Jackson has been really a lot of fun to watch this year, grow and mature, and there's games where mismatches happen that he fortunately doesn't get as much time, but in the time that he does, he makes the best of it.
Shot off the mark, 36-12 with 1:25 to go here in the first half. We talked about all league honors as Zeb Borchers comes in. kind of an interesting thing on the girls' side, split between Ronnie Poling and Avery Brainaway. I don't think I've ever seen that in all-league voting, but they're tied, I guess.
Absolutely. And it's, Avery and Ronnie are both most deserving, both of them. You traditionally see, which I don't know why, but, it goes to usually a player that is on the team that wins the league. It just happens that way. They make a lot of wins. They have good players. It just happens that way. Ronnie, who has been on a team that has gotten progressively better all year long, those Raiders pulled out a win here against Parkway that was unbelievable and I think sparked their season. They had a loss early in around Christmas time to New Bremen that was not a good performance by either team. And we really didn't believe that was going to be, look good on their resume. However, they've turned things around. Coach Bayshore's done a fantastic job. Those girls have matured and just continue to get better each game. So if you have the opportunity to go out to Sydney on Tuesday night and watch them play at 6 o'clock, they would love for you to come out and join them.
And the Loramie girls earned the 1 seed in that section. They'll play tomorrow against Twin Valley South. You can catch that game here on NK Toco Sports if you're a Loramie fan. Projected tip time at 2:30. Dave Humstetter and AJ Lisi will be on the call for that as Max Maurer with a nice move to the basket. Now we're up to 4 points. As Roaching with it, goes to the left side in Cardano. They're just going for win 20 tonight here too. I don't know if they've ever, as Cardano nails the foul line jumper, I don't know if the Raiders have ever won 20 games in a regular season. I mean, we know they've surpassed it with the benefit of the postseason, but what year did they have 17 or 18 wins before they lost? Was that 17, 16? I know in 07 they went 19-1 in the regular season.
Okay, so they go 18 and then hit that loss.
Yeah, I think
which probably have been to Fort Loramie.
I think back in 07 they lost to Botkins. Yeah. And they lost in the sectional actually that year to Houston against John Willoughby, who coached a lot of games in this gym.
Absolutely.
With Paul Bremergen, and now at Sydney, obviously, as we see him coach a lot of games over there.
We talked about. Sorry, that just got a little wild to me. We talked about the sectionals and the girls going over to Sydney, and I had an opportunity to talk to Mitch Hoying from Sydney's athletic director, who then is the host for the tournament. And I said, what happens with all your, what your gate looks like and your concessions? That's moneymaker for some of their sports. Not the gates at all, but the concessions. Only Russia and Loramie are the two teams that normally play that are really going there. Everybody else is at Versailles, which would have been nice for us to be at Versailles. But, Sydney's tradition and tournament play, and he's like, well, these people don't know where to go. They don't know who I am. They don't, it just makes things a lot more confusing on the first day.
And the Raiders lead at halftime 38-14. We'll step aside, come back with the second half of action next on NK Toco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Come back here to NK Toco Sports, beginning of the second half of action here between Fort Loramie and Russia. Let's take a look at our first half box score brought to you by our fine sponsors at Grand Health Systems. First, taking a look for Fort Loramie, they got 4 points from Max Maurer, 5 from Spencer Knopf, and 2 from Gardner Gasson, and 3 from DJ Barhorse. For Russia in that first half, they were led by Jackson Grogine with 11, Felix Francis with 6, Hayden Quinter with 7, 5 from Braden Mon, and 1 from Vince Borchers, 4 from Benjamin York, and 4 from Braylon Cardonier. 1 quarter of play, Russia led 13-4, but they poured on 25 points in that second quarter compared to Fort Loramie's 10, and lead 38-14 at the half. And dominant second quarter by Russia. You know, start seeing that. You're going to start seeing that press here wear down Loramie here in the second half.
You know, we talked about earlier that Fort Loramie doesn't have near the timeouts. You know, they got 2 going into this last half of basketball, and you know, sometimes you need a break. The pressure that the Raiders put on their opponents makes you tired. And you know, the one time I saw Maxwell Maurer kind of grabbing his jersey, he wanted a break, and he was getting hounded bringing that ball up the floor.
Monta Francis, I think he got poked in the eye there. They're just going to turn it over on their opening possession of the second half. So they're just going to come out and keep this pressure up. Really part of the third quarter. Gives it up ahead to Gasson. Now we're going to take the contested jump shot. It's off the mark as Borchers runs to the basketball. He works up the floor, trying to split the defense. He kicks it out to Monning. Going to pull the quick trigger 3. Braylon Cardonier gets it. He'll fire 3 of his own and make up for it. The future Marshall baseball player with the 3. He's up to 7 points now. Speaking of baseball and softball practices start Monday as Brandon Monin hits the deck hard. Hard to believe that baseball and softball are going to be starting. It's going to be nice weather next week.
Absolutely.
And I know we're going to have some practices outside in this area week 1, which is very nice.
Well, new Russia coach Kenley Ludlow indicated if it's above 40 degrees, you're going to be outside. You better be ready to go, especially with down to 1 gym. And they're still in basketball season. 4 teams of between softball and baseball trying to practice, and 2 basketball teams. That's a lot.
Yeah.
We're going outside, which I think it said 54 degrees Tuesday.
Can't complain about that. We got all that snow tonight. But, you know, we'll deal with it. It's past Valentine's Day. I always feel like Valentine's Day is kind of that cutoff for the severe stuff.
Come March 1st, it has to stop snowing. And it might be colder during baseball and softball season than it is during basketball season. I've worn a light jacket most of the winter.
We had a very mild winter, thankfully. Kicked out to Vince Borchers. Borchers over to Hayden Quinter. Quinter takes that jumper. His shot's no good. Gets his own rebound and lays it in. And the Raider lead up 45-14. They've exceeded their point total in the first matchup against Fort Loramie.
It's 43?
Yes, it was 43-18 or 19, I believe.
You know, and the Redskins are on pace to exceed what they scored as well.
Right side, Alex Berger. Over to the left side to Gasson.
Nice cut.
And a beautiful cut. Score. Loramie got the 10 seed in the sectional. I believe they're at, we got to pull it away from the ball. Cardonier was trying to post up. I believe Loramie, they will be playing at Piqua. They'll be playing Miami Valley, who's the 6th seed at 13th. Kind of an unknown Miami Valley. You know, Are they a true 6th seed or not? I like the idea by Coach Westerheim to go attack that.
I do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, if they win, they play Franklin Monroe, who I think is a respectable team out of the WOAC, but I think a team that Fort Loramie, with the experience of the Shelby County League, could beat if they happen to knock off Miami Valley. But honestly, there's a path that Loramie can get to that district semifinal. That's not unthinkable as Maurer shot is good and in the horn.
You know, he took the basket to, he took the path to the basket extremely hard, and finished and got the 2 and picked up a foul. So he's going to go to the line to try to finish this off.
Russia, we take a look at it. Like I said, they're going to Troy High School. Not going to be at the Garberry Gymnasium like usual, like most fans are used to. But they open up with Yellow Springs and Tri-County North their first 2 games. Should win those pretty easily, as they'll be heavy favorites. And then you look on the bottom side, Riverside plays Newton first round, and that plays Emmanuel Christian to see who would probably most likely face the Raiders as Credania scores. But, I mean, Newton's kind of a dark horse. I mean, Rush cannot bow their heads.
They knocked off Watkins, about 10 days ago by 2 in overtime. You know, and they're going to move to Division 6 next year. So, you know, Newton's enrollment is super high. They get all those open enrollments from, you know, Credania and Knopf are battling back and forth on both ends.
They are.
They're exchanging fouls. But they get a ton of open enrollments from Troy, and I don't think that's going to stop either.
They have a beautiful facility.
Great facilities.
I mean, kind of similar. I mean, Rushy, people were touring Newton's facilities
We're
to kind of get a
envious.
look.
We want that too.
You know, Newton doesn't have football, but they have soccer. Soccer very popular there. I mean,
they've got a great baseball and softball complex as well.
Yeah. I mean, you had multiple tournament games over at Newton's facility. They have the Miami Valley Prospects do a lot of their stuff for Summer League Baseball through there. It's very nice.
The softball team plays in a Cancer Classic in April.
Yeah.
They play a doubleheader, usually on a Friday night. But, you know, I'm excited about this tournament run for one reason is we get to face Tri-County North. They have 1 win. However, I have a really good friend from Tri-County North, and we never get to play each other. She's like, well, this is not the year I really wanted to play. I said, well, I imagine I wouldn't want to play Rushy either.
But Tri-County North out the Western Ohio Athletic Conference. There's the same conference that Bradford, Mississinewa, and Sonia Newton are all in. So they do play around here at times as burning off the screen. Blocked by Jackson Rojan, the smallest guy on the floor, getting on the block party. The other way, Felix Francis, his shot's no good. He got cleaned up by Braden Monin. Back over to Vince Porchers, 4:25 to go in the third quarter. Rushy leads 47-19.
You know, there's some players that have had JV time this year that need some time, varsity time, and those are going to be the games that are going to give them those opportunities to get their feet wet and see what they can do. You know, we saw in the second quarter Dominic Francis come in. Was Zeb Schultz in as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've seen them get a little bit of time tonight. You might see a little bit later in this game. But they may be needed at some point. Is that his second of the night?
Second player control foul, yep. It's a good take there. I believe that was by Gasson. (50-19) our score. And Raiders, you know, before the official night, looks like they're on the way to get a league title here and have it outright. That would make it in this gym, the Claire Steve Gymnasium, 13 league titles, 7 district titles as of now, and 2 regional titles. Again, that all being pending. The Raiders look like they have a shot. Obviously, nothing guaranteed, but will be one of the favorites as the shot's good there by Barhurst. A chance to get a district title, another shot at a regional. But a lot of success in this gym, too. But looks like this is going to be the Raiders' first outright league title since 2017. And a shot, no good. He gets the steal right back over to Monin. Those two have played together for so long. They were playing their freshman year for former head coach Dave Borchers, who you said was one of the 4 guys as well to coach in this gym. And we know he's smiling down on us right now.
He's excited. He doesn't like anything more than seeing them beat Fort Loramie. So he's having a good night tonight.
Shot blocked there. We're talking about memories of one other memory in this gym. 7th grade year, we played here one year, and playing for Coach Kyle Schaefer, who won a lot of games in the other gym. But we were playing Fort Loramie. We were undefeated that year, and I had 2 classmates, one by the name of Jack Dayport, another by the name of Hunter Coey, who had over 20 points that game. Those two flat out played their tails off that game. They won that game against Fort Loramie. It was their only loss of the season. They ended up winning the league that year, but we were the only team to beat them. And Hunter, so many memories from him in this gym.
He had some fantastic games.
Yeah.
You know, and he brought a spark to this gym, just like a lot of other players did. And, you know, I can think back to looking at a lot of these kids' dads that played here. You know, we look at Felix Francis's dad that played. Right now that's on the floor, I think everybody's dad played, maybe except Hayden's. Hayden's dad might have played in junior high. But they're, you know, they've got memories. They've got memories of watching their kids playing themselves, and this gym has had a great run, and it's seen, you know, different floor changes, different logo changes, decor changes. You know, on the south side of the gym, you see the Raider busting out of the blocks, and there used to be, if you can see straight across and up where it designates who's in the Shelby County Athletic League, there used to be a sign on the south side of the gym, which I believe is where coming out of the blocks is. And there was a Raider standing and had his foot on a basketball. That drawing was done after former coach Paul Bremagen. He was like the model for that portrait. So there's been a lot of changes in here. The stripes along the wall have changed. You know, the mats are additions. The scoreboard.
Grogine trying to get his fifth three-pointer of the night, no good. But talk about this too, and get nicknames. And my friend too, Hunter, had a nickname for this, the Raider Dome. We always called this. Me and my classmates always called this the Raider Dome too. Hunter coined that phrase, and always called it the Raider Dome too. But the Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium, named after former principal superintendent do-it-all guy Claire C. Naveau, whose daughter here is still a kindergarten teacher. And
yes,
if you take a look at all the Russia alum on that side, there's many of them that have been taught by Mary Dayport, including me.
Not me. Not me. But you talk about Hunter, and his dad was part of the 82-83 team. He was a senior that year.
Yeah. And a lot of great memories. You know, that we can still talk about with him, as Ty Kemper into the lineup for Fort Loramie. Hunter with the basketball. 55-23, Russia ahead of Fort Loramie. Trying to work it on the inside. York for three, off the mark. Raiders on the edge of getting that running clock potentially. With a 32-point lead, got to get it to 35. Shot in the lane, no good by Gasson. York in the lane, tried to throw it down, but it hung there for too long. Trying to get the final dunk in this gym. Shot's good and one. There for Carter Eilerman. Tried to punctuate that, or try to throw it down. Just missed. I think Benjamin York maybe had a girl maybe he's trying to show off for. Maybe. That or a parent.
I would too.
He's got those long arms.
I don't know that his dad ever dunked it in a game. You know, he's an 85 grad.
He graduated with my dad.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. Shots up and in like Carter Eilerman. Nice. Tight. Kemper needs to go up. Number 52 is Eli Berger. Excuse me on that as I messed that up. Cardano with it, 29-point lead here for the Raiders. Corner with it, he gets instruction coach Spencer Cardano here. He's going for his 100th win as head coach here. And it's not even counting all his girls' wins here. But just as the guys coach, 100 wins. We don't give out Shelby County League Coach of the Year, but I'm sure if you had to, he would get that honor, and rightfully so. Quick trigger three by Grogine off the mark. Shot up at the horn, it's no good. We head to the fourth quarter. Russia leads Loramie 55-26. We'll come back for the final 8 minutes here of the Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium. You're next on NK Total Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
Back here for the beginning of the fourth quarter here at the Clare St. Gymnasium. It's a 55-26 Russia Raider lead. They outscored Loramie only by 5 that quarter, 17-12. But the Raiders in control here, looking like they're going to get that outright league title and get that 20th win of the regular season. Here's the lob for Francis. Tried to throw it down with one hand. And that's the design I think Coach Cody Anthony was trying to.
Yeah, we talked about them changing things up down there. Coach Cordonier's getting a drink of water and, just kind of cruising this in.
Kemper with it, goes to Barhorst.
But if I was Loramie, there ain't no way I'm going to let you do that on me.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame you. Ball stolen by Braden Monin, and he stepped on the sideline. Felix Francis was coming there in the foreshadows, and at this time, I've seen plays like this. I think it was against Fairlawn where Coach Cordonier was like, quit the Harlem Globetrotters stuff this early in the game. Play the game.
Right. But they're at a point in the game that's pretty secure. It's the last game in this gym. But you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to.
Shot off the mark there by A.J. Siegel. Sorry, actually, that was Eli Berger. It's senior night 2 again here for these 3 seniors. As Cordonier might have got away with an extra step there, but he lays it in. Or sorry, Monin, I should say, my bad. And he's up in double figures as that shot is no good there by Braden Monin. He's looking to push it up ahead. Back over to Francis, to Vince Borchers. Cross-court pass to Monin, over to Quinter. Quinter, cross-court over to Borchers. Off the roll to Cordonier. He gives it to Quinter, who lays it in. Hoop and harm for Hayden Quinter, the Shelby County League Player of the Year, the all-time steals leader, 1,000-point scorer, and he's got an outside shot this baseball season for an all-time hit leader. But as long as they stay healthy, I think another guy on the floor might pass him in that category. That's number 24, Brandon Cordonier. High arcing free throw is good by Hayden Quinter. He's in double figures with 11. A.J. Siegel in the lineup for Fort Loramie, a junior. So Raiders get to the 60-point threshold, 60-26.
And we'll recognize the Raiders senior cheerleaders tonight too. Emma Daypour and Alex Garkey have been part of their program for 4 years, and will take their talents on to college, and they've been a great job of trying to get the Raider spirit up.
Oh, they gave out a nice thing tonight as he came in. It was a picture of the Clare St. Gymnasium, some old great pictures on the front of Coach Dave Borcher, Spencer Cordonier, Paul Bremingen, Claire C. Naveau here on the front. It's kind of a little flyer for the game, but they got the rosters on the back from that first night, so let's off those here. As for Fort Loramie on that night, again, coach under George Hamlin, who won the first state championship of 3 in Fort Loramie history for basketball. As Monin shoots from the arc, and that's going to initiate the running clock there as Monin cans a 3. And now I think he's going to sub out his seniors there at this point, as he's going to sub out Braden Monin, Hayden Quinter, and Felix Francis for the final time here. Historic career here at the Clare St. Gymnasium, and they'll leave their mark with a league title. And 5 juniors will come on the floor. Very likely we're looking at a potential starting lineup for next year. As they get to that running clock, and Coach Westerheide will sub and Aiden Burning. But let's go through the rosters for each team. For Russia, it was Randy McEldowney, Ken Francis, Doug Groff, Rob Cardonier, Tim Larger, Brad Heaton, John Haney, Alan Monin, Dave Sturwald, Doug Borchers, Matt Monin, and Jim Cohey. The head coach was Roger Cheney. He was assisted by legend Paul Brungen. Won 438 games as the coach of the Raiders. For Fort Loramie, it was Tony Drees, Scott Bargy, Jerry Werman, Don Rethman, Ron Rose, Chris Oberding, Steve Haney, Jeff Ruenkamp, Dan Deloy, Tony Schmidtmeyer, and Ron Rotterman. The coach was George Hamlin. That game played on December 10th, 1982, which was won by the Redskins 56-45. Now Manier's shot is blocked. He goes up again and scores.
Was it shortly after that Coach Hagemeyer came to Fort Loramie?
I think so, not too long after that.
Because he spent several years there, and I know he was there in, was it 85 or 87 when, is that when Tom Brandewee was part of that team?
Yeah, I knew he had to have been there because he was my mom's guidance counselor. My mom's a Fort Loramie graduate. She graduated in 84, so
yeah.
I would say it's the next year. As Kemper all alone under the basket, and he scores. 63-30 now. Virginia with the basketball, goes over to Zeb Schultze, over to Vince Borchers. Borchers drives, teardrop, his shot short. Try to clean it up as Benjamin York, and York goes up again. His shot's no good. There's a foul here on Manier. Loramie, they'll graduate a handful of seniors this year. Alex Berger, senior. Noah Manier's a senior. Eli Berger, a senior. So a lot of juniors playing here for Fort Loramie. Aiden Burning seen time here as a freshman. As Micah Greaseup, Donovan Francis are in for Rushi. Eli Berger in for.
Well, and the crazy thing is you're subbing, and that takes up
a
good chunk of the clock.
You ever realize, sometimes you see those running clocks happen. Makes the fourth quarter go by so fast. He drives Schultze. Schultze drives baseline to Greaseup.
And you don't normally see this, but Rushi did have two senior exchange students that played in the JV game and got a little time in Matteo Morelli from Italy and Oscar Reed, who coincidentally lives with me. So they've been a lot of fun, and seeing the kids cheer for them and getting the relationships that they've had in this country. And I'm sure they're going to go back home to their countries and talk about how wonderful it was to be part of this team and see what happens in the future. So I will tell you, Oscar has a trip planned, but his concern was when things are like, what's going on? What part of the tournament is it?
Yeah.
So he didn't want to miss anything. He wants to be part of the action.
Foul by York out front.
I think that was because he wanted to steal it and go dunk it.
But
nobody's dunked in this varsity game.
I know, but we did see one dunk in the JV game.
I know, and that was a monster dunk.
Was. And a 66-30 win as Raiders are going to win their 19th league title here in school history. And make it back-to-back for the Raiders. They split with Jackson Center last year on route to their Final Four appearance. And again, the Raiders will close out tomorrow against Marion Local. This is the last regular season game for Fort Loramie, as they'll open up next week with Miami Valley in the first round. Benjamin York subs out. I think he might have got poked in the eye too. His face is a little red here. Left side, and Kleiman. Kleiman goes up to Greaseup. Zeb Schultze looking around the arc, kicks it to Francis. Francis drives on the inside. There's the dunk you were looking for, Tanya, and that's going to punctuate and be hopefully one of the last dunks here of the Claire C.
I think they're going to team up.
That's the dunk you're looking for.
Who cares? loved it. We don't care, sir.
And Raider fans, I don't think you've ever seen a crowd so excited to have a technical happen for their team.
I know. Sorry that I screamed in the microphone.
That's what you were looking for all along, and that is it.
Thank you, Mr. Dominic Francis.
Ask and you shall receive.
So, okay, but question, so they stopped the clock. Really, should the clock stop?
I don't know. It's a great question.
I mean, it's a dead ball situation, but...
That's the second time he's got teed up on a dunk this year, too. He did get technical in
I
his
didn't see that one. I think I was working the concession stand.
Yes, and it was against Houston. That was with force. That was with authority. Cooper Umberford in the lineup as well for Russia. See if Russia can get a stop here. Maybe that'll be the last field goal in this gym. Would be a good dunk. Shot by Barhorse, no good. Ryan agrees up. If I'm Russia, I'm holding it this possession. You want that last bucket to go to Dominic Francis, even though it's a field goal right there. And the Russia Raiders going to be Shelby County Athletic League champions. They sign off this gym with a 68-31 win here tonight as Caleb Underford will hold out the last remaining seconds, and Russia gets the outright Shelby County League title 68-31 over the Fort Loramie Redskins. You caught it here live on NK Toko Sports. Let's take a look at our sponsors here tonight, because without them, we would not be able to give you this broadcast here tonight. Our sponsors here are Carriage Works, Chiltex LLC, Cy Schwederman, Beckman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hillsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, the Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, SecureCom, Bud's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Crown Equipment, Shelby County Veteran Services, the St. Henry Bank, and WCSM Radio. Our school board sponsors, the First National Bank, Keys to the Game, Keyhole Pizza. All timeouts are brought to you by Precision Strip. Our player of the game is brought to you by NK Toko. Our mid and post game stats are brought to you by Green Lake Health Systems, and our Russia Live View sponsor is the Superior Aluminum. NK Toko Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of tonight's high school varsity basketball action on NK Toko Cable or the NKT.TV app. On Channel 156, February 19th at 6 p.m. and on Channel 158, February 19th at 6 p.m. And on Channel 3 or in high definition on 503, March 8th at 8 p.m. and March 9th at 8 p.m. You can also watch more games live via pay-per-view through nktoko.com/sports and more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and nktoko.com/sports. Let's take a look at our box score here, brought to you tonight by our fine sponsors at Green Lake Health Systems. First, taking a look for the Fort Loramie Redskins. They had 7 points from Max Maurer, 5 from Spencer Knopf, 4 from Carter Gasson, 3 from Carter Eilerman, and 6 from DJ Barhorst, and 2 from Alex Berger. For Russia, they were led. Jackson Grogian had 14. They got 6 from Felix Francis. They had from Hayden Quinter, they had 12. From Braden Monin, they got 14. From Benjamin York, they got 7. 1 for Vince Porchers. Braylon Cardonier added 9. Micah Griesuk with 3. And Dominic Francis with 1 thunderous slam and for 2 points.
And 1 technical to go home with it, which was awesome.
And the Raiders win here 68-31, but the scoring by quarters, Russia looked 13-4 after 1, 38-14 at halftime, 55-26 after 3, and 68-31 overall. Russia advances to 20-1 on the season. They'll be back in action tomorrow night on the road at the Hangar against the Marion Local Flyers before starting tournament action next weekend against Yellow Springs at Troy High School. The Fort Loramie Redskins will be in action next weekend against Miami Valley in the opening round of tournament play next weekend at Pickwa's Garberry Gymnasium as they drop to 6-16 on the year. Great game here tonight for the Raiders as they take home their 19th league title in school history. Back-to-back league titles for Coach Spencer Cardonier. 5 years as head coach, 5 league titles.
That's impressive. You know, the players, contribute all their hard work, and, all these parents all these years that help these kids build and get better. And it doesn't start when you get in high school. It starts down in the 3rd and the 4th grade, and the kids just outside shooting around, putting a ball in their hands and getting comfortable with it. So, they credit the parents and the coaching staff, and it doesn't take, 1 or 2, it takes a village.
And give you one more opportunity before we leave here to name our last player of the game here.
Well,
you're going to go with on Rushie's side.
You're gonna laugh at me because my player of the game tonight is gonna be Augie Credonier. For Augie started this way back in probably 1981 when the discussion came up, the gym was built, and the Raiders have players all over the place, and my guess would have probably been Jackson Grosjeans, who I would have gave it to.
Yeah.
But I really got to go to Augie Credonier for his his idea and his inspiration to make this happen, and we've had a lot of great memories, and we thank you fans for joining us, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and me and Brandon enjoy doing this. So thank you so much, and we look forward to talking to you next year from the unnamed gym.
Yeah, and obviously too, and I want to put in a player of the game too with Claire Souneveau as well.
Absolutely.
Who fought for this school and everything, and as well to not be consolidated
yes.
back in the 70s. And we see the Rushi team that come out with their Shelby County League champs shirt. But we already said we're going to carve our names into here. We're going to sign off on our names here when we sign off here in a second. We're going to put our names in here. There's some writings here from before, but we're going to carve our names in here, the last bit of history here. But we want to thank you fans for joining us here tonight. And for the we want to thank our crew, for Austin Ambergy back in the stage, for Tanya Hammonds, I'm Brandon Copeland, for the very final time, signing off from the Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium. You've been watching boys high school basketball on NK Telco Sports.